There's a growing buzz around the Los Angeles Lakers, and this time, it's not just about LeBron James or their next championship run. No, it's about a bold move that could shake the entire foundation of the team. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. I'm talking about Austin Reaves. Yes, the undrafted underdog who became one of the brightest stars in LA is now at the center of some serious trade discussions. And here's the shocking part. The Lakers are being encouraged to trade him before his value goes through the roof. So, what's going on here? On a recent episode of the Game Theory podcast, NBA expert Sam Vecenie spent an entire segment diving into the Lakers' current situation. And one name kept coming up over and over: Austin Reaves.
Why?
Because Reaves is no longer just a feel-good story. He's now one of the most valuable young assets in the league, and he's playing on a deal that's almost too good to be true. He's making just $13.9 million this year. That's pennies in NBA terms. And he has a player option for the 2026-27 season worth only $14.8 million. To put that in perspective, players with half his production are making more than that right now. But here's the catch. This bargain won't last long. Reaves is heading toward a massive payday. Experts believe his next contract could easily hit or even exceed $40 million per year. And that changes everything for the Lakers. So now comes the tough question. Do the Lakers keep him, or do they trade him now, while his value is sky high and his contract is still team-friendly? Vecenie floated a potential trade idea involving the Dallas Mavericks, and specifically, young center Dereck Lively. Lively has shown real chemistry with Luka Doncic and looks like a future defensive anchor. Here's what Vecenie said. Reaves is probably a top 40 player in the league. I think he's phenomenal. But he's about to get very expensive. So, is there a world where the Lakers flip him for Dereck Lively, a guy who fits better defensively and has already shown great synergy with Luka Doncic? It's a provocative idea. But it wouldn't be an easy decision for the Lakers, or their fans. Austin Reaves has become a symbol of hope in LA. He wasn't drafted. No one expected him to make it. And yet here he is, not just making the roster, but thriving as a key piece of the team. Just last season, he averaged a career-high 20.2 points per game. That's elite production, especially for a guy who came from nothing. But basketball is a business. And as good as Reaves is, there are real concerns about his defense. He struggles to stay in front of quicker guards, and opposing teams often target him on switches. When you pair that with a potential future alongside Luka Doncic, another poor defender, the Lakers could find themselves in trouble. Think about it. Once LeBron retires, the Lakers could be locked into 2 max contracts with stars who can score, but who give up just as much on the other end. That's not a recipe for success. Not in today's NBA. To compete, they'd need to surround those two with elite defenders, rim protectors, and hustle players. And that's where a guy like Dereck Lively comes in. He's young. He's athletic. He's smart. And most importantly, he defends. He could be the perfect frontcourt partner for a team that wants to build around scorers like Reaves or Doncic. So here's the dilemma. Do the Lakers hold on to Reaves, hoping his offense continues to evolve and that they can hide his defensive flaws? Or do they cash in now, flipping him for a more balanced piece like Lively before the rest of the league realizes just how expensive Reaves is about to become? It's not an easy call. Fans love Reaves. He plays with heart. He brings energy. And his story is inspirational. But championships aren't won with emotion. They're won with tough decisions. And to make matters even more complicated, there's the history between the Lakers and the Mavericks. After the Blockbuster deal that brought Luka Doncic to Dallas, the Mavs might be hesitant to deal with LA again. There's tension. There's pride. And there's a lot on the line. But if there's one thing we know about these two franchises, it's that when the stakes are high, they're not afraid to make bold moves. So now we turn to you. What should the Lakers do? Hold on to Reaves and hope he becomes a long-term superstar, even if it means paying him $40 million a year? Or explore a trade now, targeting someone like Dereck Lively who could address their biggest weakness? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more Lakers news, and hit that bell so you never miss an update. Big moves might be coming, and Austin Reaves could be at the center of it all. The Los Angeles Lakers find themselves at a crossroads yet again. After another disappointing early exit from the NBA playoffs, it's clear that changes must be made, and fast. The front office has a monumental task ahead, reshaping the roster in a way that maximizes the remaining years of LeBron James while preparing for a future that doesn't rely entirely on his presence. One glaring issue stands above the rest: the lack of a dominant presence in the paint. The Lakers simply don't have a starting caliber center on the roster right now. It's a critical gap, and the rest of the league knows it. Without a reliable big man to anchor the defense and finish plays around the rim, LA is at a serious disadvantage, especially in the stacked Western Conference. And this is where the name Daniel Gafford starts to gain traction. Gafford, the 6'10" center from the Dallas Mavericks, has quietly become one of the more intriguing targets for teams in need of a rugged, defensive-minded big. He's not a household name like other star centers, but among NBA insiders and front offices, his value is well understood. Gafford brings rim protection, vertical spacing, and underrated pick-and-roll chemistry, particularly with Luka Doncic, with whom he's developed strong on-court synergy. Now, here's the dilemma for the Lakers. Gafford isn't exactly available for cheap. In fact, on a recent episode of Buha's Block, Lakers insider Jovan Buha broke down just how expensive this deal could get. He suggested that the Lakers may need to part ways with Gabe Vincent, promising rookie Dalton Connect, and, perhaps most painfully, a future first-round pick. That's a lot to give up, especially for a player who doesn't stretch the floor on offense. But this is the price of doing business in today's NBA, especially when you're negotiating from a position of need. Rival teams know that the Lakers are desperate for size. They know that Rob Pelinka and the front office are under immense pressure to capitalize on this window. And they'll use that leverage to squeeze every last asset they can. Still, Gafford checks a lot of boxes. He averaged 12.3 points, 6.8 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and 1.8 blocks per game last season, all in just over 21 minutes a night. That's remarkable efficiency. He thrives in transition, can switch in pick-and-roll coverages, and brings a level of physicality that the current Lakers rotation lacks. But perhaps the most important factor? Gafford doesn't need the ball to be effective. He fits seamlessly alongside ball-dominant stars like LeBron and potentially another high-usage player in the near future. His ability to defend the paint and clean up on the glass would provide the kind of stability that's been missing since the departure of a true defensive anchor. The risk, of course, lies in the cost. Dalton Connect has shown flashes of being a future contributor. Giving him up, along with a first-round pick, could come back to haunt the Lakers if Gafford doesn't live up to expectations. And Gabe Vincent, despite a rocky start in LA, still holds value as a capable backup guard. This trade, if it happens, wouldn't just be about filling a need. It would be a statement, a declaration that the Lakers are all in once again. And with LeBron James still on the roster, that mindset is understandable. Every year with LeBron is championship or bust. There's no time for patience. No time for waiting on young players to develop. The Lakers must act boldly, even if it means parting with potential future building blocks. There's also the matter of Dallas. After pulling off a blockbuster deal for Luka Doncic, they may not be eager to engage with the Lakers again unless the deal significantly favors them. That could drive Gafford's price even higher. So where does that leave us? The Lakers need a center. Gafford fits the mold. But getting him will cost them, and not just in terms of draft capital. It will cost them flexibility, future potential, and maybe even fan goodwill if young talent is shipped out prematurely. But if the Lakers believe Gafford is the missing link, the piece that can elevate them from fringe playoff team to serious contender, they might have no choice but to make the move. It's worth noting that the Lakers have been in this position before. In previous off-seasons, they've made high-risk trades in hopes of quick contention, some of which backfired spectacularly. Fans still remember the Russell Westbrook trade, a deal that cost LA multiple valuable role players and severely hampered their depth for seasons. That memory still lingers in the minds of Lakers Nation, and it puts even more pressure on the front office to get this next move right. The margin for error is razor-thin. Every trade, every signing, every decision will be scrutinized under a microscope. And yet, doing nothing is not an option either. Standing pat and hoping for internal development won't cut it, not in the ultra-competitive West, where teams like Denver, Minnesota, and Oklahoma City continue to rise. The Lakers have to take a swing. And Gafford, while not a superstar, represents a calculated risk, the kind of addition that could elevate the roster without completely mortgaging the future. Rob Pelinka and his staff know this. That's why every option is on the table. Trade talks will continue. Phone calls will be made. And behind the scenes, the Lakers are quietly evaluating just how far they're willing to go to land the right big man. One thing's for sure, this summer won't be quiet in Los Angeles. It never is. Big changes are coming. The Lakers have two glaring needs, a legitimate center and a wing defender who can space the floor. And now, an intriguing trade scenario is gaining traction, one that could bring back a player who already helped the Lakers win it all. On the Game Theory podcast, analysts Bryce Simon and Sam Vecini floated a trade involving the Orlando Magic that could shake things up in Los Angeles. The potential deal? The Lakers would receive Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and center Goga Bitadze in exchange for Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, and possibly young sharpshooter Dalton Knecht. Let's unpack that. First, the idea of bringing back KCP. Lakers fans remember his contributions during the 2020 championship run, elite perimeter defense, clutch three-point shooting, and a calm presence in high-pressure moments. He was a starter on that title team, playing alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis, and he thrived in that role. While his numbers dipped last season, just 8.7 points per game, shooting 34.2% from deep, he's still respected as a defender and locker room presence. At age 32, he's not the same player he was in the bubble, but his familiarity with the franchise and playoff experience make him a valuable piece. His contract includes a player option in the 2026-27 season worth $21.6 million, which makes this a short-term but impactful move. Now, Goga Bitadze. He's not a flashy name, but he might quietly be one of the better low-cost options to fill LA's hole at center. In Orlando, he played behind Mo Wagner and Wendell Carter Jr., limiting his minutes. Even so, Bitadze averaged 7.2 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks in 20.4 minutes per game. He's not a floor spacer, but he's physical, defends the rim well, and brings a tough edge, something the Lakers sorely missed last season. He would have a bigger opportunity in LA and could be the consistent big man this team has lacked since parting ways with key frontcourt depth. On the flip side, there's Rui Hachimura. The 26-year-old forward has been a steady contributor over the last couple of seasons. He's strong, mobile, and capable of creating his own shot in isolation. But with Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt in the fold, Hachimura's role might become redundant. His age, skill set, and reasonable contract make him a prime trade candidate. He's valuable, and teams know it. Then there's Gabe Vincent. After signing with LA last summer, Vincent was expected to be a reliable two-way guard off the bench. But injuries and inconsistency plagued his season. In this scenario, he's mostly a salary filler, included to make the numbers work. Still, some believe he could bounce back if given a fresh start. Now comes the wild card, Dalton Knecht. A promising young wing with a reputation as a pure shooter. He hasn't cracked the regular rotation under J.J. Redick, and there were already rumors of him being moved to Charlotte before returning. At just 23 years old, Knecht's upside is real. He's a player that many teams would want coming off the bench as a scoring spark. Including him would be tough, but if the Lakers are serious about winning now, it might be the cost of doing business. This deal isn't without risk. Trading away a young talent like Knecht and a dependable scorer like Rui could backfire in the long term. KCP isn't the same version of himself from 2020. Bitadze is still unproven as a starting caliber big. But when you consider what this team needs, size, defense, veteran presence, it starts to make sense. And let's not forget, Rob Pelinka is under pressure. The Lakers have LeBron James entering his 22nd season, and time is running out. Every move from here on out must be about maximizing this window. The franchise can't afford to waste another year. Fans expect results. Ownership expects results. And with the Western Conference only getting stronger, standing still simply isn't an option. Reuniting with Caldwell-Pope would bring instant credibility to the perimeter defense. Solving the center issue with Bitadze could stabilize the frontcourt. And offloading players who may no longer be core pieces could open up even more flexibility for additional moves. Ultimately, the question isn't just should the Lakers make this trade, it's will they be bold enough to do it? One thing is certain, this offseason could define the next era of Lakers basketball. Will they run it back with the current core, or shake things up in a major way? Reuniting with a fan favorite like KCP could be the first step in reigniting the championship fire in Los Angeles.